view on what pricing transformation means and how that could differ between what an insurer currently does and what an insurer of the future could look like?
When we talk to insurers about their pricing processes, the biggest thing that comes up is how the pricing team and the product teams work together. And once upon a time, they were often the same people, but there's a greater focus on thinking about what products would look like, and that's often done within a product team. Mm-hmm. And then over here, there's an actuarial team that does the pricing mechanics. And the biggest thing that comes up is this sort of throwing things over the wall at each other and this long process of iteration that happens because the product team has a view of competitive needs, the pricing compared to the market, the feedback that comes from distributors, and the actuaries are often just almost mechanics doing a profitability check. And they go away and they use this tool that typically takes a little while to set up and run, and every time we change something it's a bit painful, and then it's, you've forgotten what you ran last time, so you have to rerun, and it's not in a controlled environment. So there's this iteration process that takes a long period of time. And in the past, when pricing was when we need to, or once a year we do a review, didn't matter so much. Now the competitive environment is such that there's a constant need to review the position, not just around pricing, but around product features. And every time you need to upgrade your product features, you want to look at price, and then you also want to look at the competitive environment. So that is the biggest need for change, is to create a more fluid process where teams are working together and interacting. The longer term is, I was buying an airline ticket recently, and the airlines get used as the example all the time, where the prices change constantly, and they're dynamic to me. The price of the service hasn't changed. The seat value has potentially changed as you get closer to the time that the plane's taking off. But what's actually happening is the airlines are looking at how many times I hit the website and how many times I looked at hotel accommodations and things like that, and saying, should we change the price for this individual? And you have to ask, well, if other industries are going in that direction, and that makes sense for them, why isn't the life insurance industry going there? The other thing is just we talked a bit before about product suitability. At the moment we sell a product, it's essentially static over a very long period of time. That's going to have to shift as well, and we shouldn't have to rewrite the product and reprice completely over time for a customer. We should be actually moving to more dynamic pricing based on other factors.
I guess one of the contentious issues around that often comes up in these sorts of discussions is around, at what point do you lose the nature of insurance by pricing in such an individual way, and you lose that pooling? What are your perspectives on that?
The concept we landed on was a little bit of what's controllable and what's not controllable. So where it's not controllable, potentially that should be pooled. So you can't control whether you're born male or female, and maybe we're happy to have generic pricing, male versus female, and bundle up in that way. But the biggest one is lifestyle characteristics, and what we should be trying to do is find ways to influence behaviour. I think I end up that I think more specific pricing makes sense. At the moment we're way too generic, but there's a balancing act somewhere to say we don't want to get to the point where people who have important needs can't get cover for those needs.